Hello, hello, hello. This is Kathy Cross Reese coming to you on day 113 of 365, hashtag reflections, and the 23rd Proverbs. I was about to say the 23rd Psalms because I know the 23rd Psalms, and I was thinking of the 23rd Psalms, but I'm doing the 23rd Proverbs. One day, let's see, I'll take this off because it's reflecting. One day, I will do um, Psalms. I'm not exactly sure when. I haven't received those instructions yet, but yeah, Psalms has 150 chapters, I believe, so it's a little longer. I want to share with you, started out the day with communion. That's the best way to start the day. The best part of waking up is communion in your cup. Right. Yeah. So after that, Trucking God's Way, and I love the topic today and Wellness Wednesday with the 8 dimensions of wealth and just really checking yourself, making sure that you pause, pause and check all those different dimensions of your being, right? Your wellness, your total wellness, because everything impacts one impacts the other. So you are not an island. I'm not an island. So that was really powerful for me to hear this morning. And today let me think, because I showed some property later this afternoon and I timed it a little bit off. I thought it would take me about 35 minutes to 40 minutes, and that was correct in getting to off the exit. But to actually get from the exit to the property was about another 20 to 30 minutes. So it was a nice scenic drive, but it was a lot of rolling, winding roads. And it was by this big plant called Big Hanford. I don't know if it was a power plant, but I know that once we got out there, I had no signal, like no signal. Fortunately, I knew the people I was going to see out there as a past client, but if it wasn't, I don't think I would have showed that property because it was so remote, but it was so serene and so beautiful when we got out there. It's dangerous to go out and show property really to people you don't know in places where you haven't been. And even if there's places you've been, it's just better to be safe. Better to be safe in this society today. It's just better to be safe. So that was my experience today, and I want to check in with you in the chat and see how you're doing. I'm coming on a little bit the time that I need to come on, not as late as I have been. So I hope you are well. How are you doing? I hope you are well. So I showed some properties, but before then, had my Legacy Leader Compass weekly training program. And today we talked about systems. We're still talking about systems, and um, that was quite enjoyable. I learned a lot, and people had a lot to share. I learned from what they share, and I learned from the revelations that come up out of me. So that was quite good. And I talked about my virtual event that's coming up, 2-day epic virtual event that's coming up on Monday, right around the corner, Monday. And so, in order to the admittance, the entry, the fee, even though it's free, in exchange, I want you to show up, right? Show up for those 2 days with your cameras on, fully engaged, and I want you to book a pre-event call. So that means you need to call me, message me, let me know so we can talk, so I can share, and then we'll get on the event and we'll book, tongue tie. We'll book a post-event call as well. So I'm looking forward to that, sharing all that with you because it's quite um, yeah, what's the right word? It's quite invigorating, exuberant, exciting. I just love teaching and training. And I love learning. Uh, I think I'm a lifelong learner. I didn't go back to get my doctorates, but I'm thinking I will. I have my master's, I have my bachelor's, I have my associates. Thinking I'll go back and get my doctorates, like, and find something. very intriguing that I've always wanted to learn about because I read books, I listen to, different teachings, but I think I would like to go back to, school and get my doctorates. Just, I'm thinking I'd like it in prophecy. I don't know if there's such a thing, doctorates in prophetic. I don't know, but we'll see. We'll see. So that's my share for today, and I am going to end this on that note. Except yesterday and today, I almost forgot today to share Proverbs. Now, I just read it um, in its entirety somewhere else, but I want to share some highlights. I think the first part where it talks about if you sit down to dine with a ruler, consider carefully what's before you. And it says, put a knife to your throat. Now, that's not literally, but figuratively, like hold on to your appetite because you might embarrass yourself and you might, even though they say, go ahead, eat up whatever you want, they might not really want you to, just testing you. And you might end up literally throwing up what you've eaten. So just be careful. That was the first part. And then it talks also in 23rd Proverbs about discipline, saying, discipline your children. They won't die from it. Now, they're not talking about abuse, they're talking about discipline, or the scripture's talking about discipline, not abuse. So I thought that was quite interesting. And I'm going to go ahead and go back to yesterday, which I did not share a proverb. So I want to share one or two from that. So this one I love because this I actually can identify with in the business that I'm in real estate because you need to have perception. I actually went and knocked on a door yesterday, and well, let me share the proverb, then I'll tell a short story. So Proverbs 22, verse 3 talks about a prudent person foresees danger and takes precautions. The simpleton goes blindly on and suffers the consequences. So yesterday I did a door knock. I have a past client who wanted me to knock on the door of a neighbor's house, long story short, to inquire about purchasing the property. In fact, I got a text from the person who wants to sell his property, but now there's not an agreement on price. There was originally an agreement, but once attorneys got involved, the price went up. So I have a little bit of work to do in getting some numbers out. And here's the story. I knocked, and then I had this sense that I needed to get off the porch. Now, I got off the porch, got in my car, sat down, and I was like, Lord, what's going on here? And right as I was looking, I was about to call the gentleman who owns the property so I can inquire about the sale of it. His son comes out and we have a conversation. That conversation goes very well. And then this interesting gentleman comes out that looks very big and robust. He comes out and I'm thinking, what's going on? He's behind the person I'm talking to, the young man. So we have this dialogue. Things are going well, but the other guy is kind of like shifting like this. Almost like a boxer, like you can ready to do something. Just happen to notice that even though I'm looking at the person I'm talking to, I can see in my peripheral vision the shifting back and forth. I thought that's strange, but I still didn't sense I was in any danger or anything. And I don't think I was, but I sensed that I needed to wrap up the conversation, wrap it up, which I did, wrapped up the conversation, got back in the car, and it looked like, back it up, it looked like we had a deal. Went home, talked to my past client, told him what happened, looked like we had things going. Today, I called the seller and he says, the price that I told him then, I've changed my mind. I've had a change of heart because I have attorneys involved and now the price has gone up. So I'm going to run some numbers for the seller. The buyer has said, oh, no way I'm going to pay that price, but we shall see. We shall see. So, prudent person sees danger and takes necessary precautions. The foolish run blindly in and suffers the consequences. So that was one tall tale of real estate. I have so many more. I think I might start sharing those too. Anyway, but I want to have you come to my event tomorrow, or not tomorrow, Monday. I'm getting ahead of myself. Monday is the 2-day virtual event. So I'll put a link in. In fact, I did a recording and I'll stick that. I'll probably do that as a premiere. That way more people can see it. But if you're interested, just message me. Just put something in the chat. I'm easy to find. All right. I'll go ahead and close out. I didn't know I was going to share that story, but maybe somebody needs to hear that. So here we go. I'm so glad we had this time together just to have a laugh or sing a song. It seems we just get started, and before you know it, comes a time we have to say so long. That's my military salute. All right. Peace and blessings. Remember, like, subscribe. You got it. And share. All right. I'll see you guys on the flip side.